So as long-standing viewers will know, I've been really critical of Google's smartphone strategy ever since it shifted from the Nexus brand to the Pixel phones, mostly because of one critical factor: that absolutely bloody outrageous asking price. However, in 2019, the mighty G has started to turn things about with the fresh and remarkably affordable Pixel 3a and Pixel 3a XL. Those specs have been slashed in places, but you still get some very impressive camera smarts and that stock Pixel launcher for half the cost of the original Pixel 3 handsets. So I reviewed the standard Pixel 3a when it first launched about a month ago, but then things got a little bit crazy in May, and only recently have I had the chance to slap my sim into the XL model. What do I think about it? Well, here is my full Pixel 3a XL review, and for more on the latest and greatest smartphone tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, although the Pixel 3a XL doesn't boast the same Gorilla Glass construction as the full-fat Pixel 3 XL, this cheapy version actually looks and feels not too dissimilar. That polycarbonate frame can be snaffled in white, black, or a very subtle purpley blue colour, complete with a matte backing that gives way to glossy edges. I definitely prefer this white model of the trio, complete with its poppy orange power button. It looks pretty damn sleek, and so far it's proven perfectly tough as well. There are no scratches or scuffs to speak of, despite the fact that it's been slapped down on hard surfaces several times a day. And it is just nice to have a smartphone that isn't completely coated in glass, so I don't have to give the thing a t-shirt buffing every 5 seconds to get off all the greasy finger marks. Of course, the XL model is an absolute beast, not necessarily because of the 6-inch display, which is actually quite modest in 2019, but mostly thanks to those chunky bezels surrounding it. I thought the standard Pixel 3a was a pretty good size for one-handed use, but the XL model is definitely a bit more cumbersome in that department. All the same, you do have a bit of help in the form of fingerprint sensor gesture support. Just swipe your finger down that rear-mounted scanner to drag down the notifications bar and avoid dislocating your thumb by stretching to the very top of the screen. And this sensor is perfect for unlocking the Pixel 3a XL as well. It's comfortably positioned and uber responsive as long as your hands aren't wet or mucky or anything. Oh, and speaking of wet, definitely do not go taking the Pixel 3a XL into the bath or shower with you, as the water resistance was one of the things that Google cut in order to trim the costs a bit. Now, one of the more lovable features of Google smartphones is the Pixel launcher, which is basically stock Android with a couple of bonus bits thrown on for good measure. Here on the Pixel 3a XL, it's basically the same slick experience that you get on the Wallet, Empty and Pixel 3 phones. You can call up the Google Assistant just by giving the handset a friendly squeeze, for instance, while the security chops are strong enough to protect all of your privates. Although there is sadly no face recognition support. And sadly, if you live here in Blighty, you still can't take advantage of Google's nifty call screening feature. But hey, guess what, America? We've got Scotch eggs and Ginster's pies, so who's the real champion, eh? And the Pixel 3a XL also comes with a good bit of peace of mind, namely 3 years of security and OS updates guaranteed. Unlike any poor bugger who buys a Huawei phone these days, eh Google? For a full look at that Pixel launcher and some of its very best features, then go check out my Pixel 3a tips and tricks guide, which is live right now on Techspert. Oi! Sorry, just going to reset my brain there. Now, despite its slimline cost, the Pixel 3a XL still packs plenty of media smarts as well. That 6-inch Full HD Plus OLED screen is bright and punchy, producing crisp clean whites and appropriately deep blacks. It's as good a panel as any around this price point, and it's perfect for enjoying some shows on the go. You also surprisingly get a full stereo setup here on the Pixel 3a XL as well, although that bottom mounted speaker is actually mounted on the edge rather than on the front of the phone, and it packs a lot more punch than that tinny little earpiece speaker as well. But big floppy sausages to all of that, because you do actually get a 3.5mm headphone jack here on the Pixel 3a XL, and of course full Bluetooth 5.0 support along with a good bit of aptX HD action. Nice! And with 64 gigs of storage on board, there's plenty of space for carting around a massive media collection. It's just a shame that there's no micro SD memory card support. Now, one of the biggest cost-cutting exercises here is yanking out that Snapdragon 845 chipset found in the original Pixel 3 and shoving in the more budget-friendly Snapdragon 670 platform instead, although you still get 4 gigs of RAM on board. But the good news is you can expect everything to run nice and smoothly anyway, even when you're multitasking with 2 apps side by side. Gaming is no thing but a chicken wing either. PubG defaults to HD graphics and plays with a consistently smooth frame rate, only showing the odd tiny little stammer under plenty of duress. On the whole, it is very impressive performance indeed, although some sort of built-in gaming mods certainly wouldn't go amiss, at the very least just to block notifications. And although the Pixel 3a XL is chunkier than the standard Pixel 3a, one of the advantages is the beefier 3700 mAh battery stuffed inside that two-tone chassis. And thanks to the energy-efficient hardware and software that we're dealing with here, the Pixel 3a XL easily lasts a full-on day, even when you're never off the bloody thing and constantly streaming music or playing with the camera or using it as a sat-nav. Sadly, there's no wireless charging support here, as you'd kind of expect at this price point, but the 18-watt fast charging is relatively nippy at least. And thankfully, there's been very little in the way of sacrifice when it comes to the camera tech. The Pixel 3a XL may do away with the Pixel Visual Core image processor found stuffed inside the Pocket Pilferum premium models, but the final photo and video quality remains absolutely stunning. That single lens 12.2 megapixel camera soaks up loads of detail, and even in situations involving strong contrast, Google's HDR smarts help to produce a good looking balanced pic. Colour capture is as close to natural as I've ever seen at this price point, so vivid, punchy subjects will look bloody marvellous with zero effort on your part. And in low light, when the auto mode starts to struggle a bit, no fear. Just swap to the night sight feature and you'll get solid results yet again. You also get a handful of other bonus photo modes, although the only one I really bothered with was the portrait mode. This does a bang-up job of keeping your subject nice and sharp while blurring the background, despite the lack of a dedicated depth sensor here on the Pixel 3a XL. You can thank Google software smarts for that one as well. And yeah, the video chops are just as great. You can record up to 4K resolution footage complete with respectable image stabilization. If you want to know more, I've fully reviewed the Pixel 3a and the Pixel 3a XL single lens rear camera over on Recon. Go check that out for more photo and video samples. And that right there is what I think of the Pixel 3a XL after using it as my full-time personal handset for a good few days. I definitely prefer the standard Pixel 3a. The battery life might not be quite as good as the XL model, but it's just easier to use one-handed, which is particularly great if you've got a manic 4-year-old who you're constantly having to grab a hold of to prevent them from jumping in front of a bus and stuff like that. But that said, the XL model, pretty freaking sweet as well. Great camera tech, fantastic display, and overall a very lovable Pixel launcher device. So are you tempted by the Pixel 3a or the Pixel 3a XL? Definitely let us know in the comments down below, as well as which one you would actually go for out of the two. And for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers everyone, love you!